Everyone's you and I verse. We're gonna get into it. Play a little song before this, you know what I'm saying? It's on my new album. I ain't dropped it yet. Did the little video for it today. I'm about to drop it soon. Inferior class from the past, fortify life in descent. Define not more to lies what you find. Lies into with the mind. Tune in, movement, lion heart, finite what I spark. Define this art. You can cry till your tears are crystallized. Pontiac calcified. Mouth is dry. Motor function, moving slow. Wake up from a dream at the matrix to method trip to me. Many face guard, manic Carter, on point, father like Carter. What do you see when you're looking at me? What do you see? What do you see when you're looking at me? What do you see when you're looking at me? What do you see? What do you see? What do you see when you're looking at me? Many face guard, many Carter, on point, father like Carter, will be a martyr, dreaming, fuck, staying stagnant, 4, 5, 6, tricks at the hips, magnet, keep it clean, keep my kids swimming down south, rather say fuck the bed in the drought, America's most innocent. I need a monumental, this monumental. Now watch what you put in your body. Keep it clean, no stains like brushing your teeth. Unlike in your mind, body weight of water too. Damn, using Mother Earth like a prostitute. What do you see when you're looking at me? What do you see? What do you see? What do you see when you're looking at me? What do you see? What do you see? What do you see when you're looking at me? Insanity, what they institute. Robin Hood on top of heads, fire fly like a candle, right? Somebody in mind, peace what they hate to see, man. Fuck it, even hatred free. I love it like she lick it though. That's a positive. Leaning tower, you still babbling. Leading thee like a star from Galilee. Water walking, don't look down or around. This my type, bro. Levitate when she ovulate. Man, fuck rap, a hip hop, moving massacre. Into this moment, I'm future in like Raven. I'm zoned and I'm the Zohan. Ha. G-O-D like Heracles, intellect movement, made you think to get hit. In a stream full of vixens. It's monumental. Monumental, it's monumental. Dun, dun, dun. Alright, so let's get into it. So with the balsamic phase, we're all clearing space for the new moon. So keep that in mind. You don't want to be too scattered in your thoughts, and you don't want to put your foot in your mouth before we have this new moon going forward. So with all this being said, keep in mind that you're clearing space for the next circumstances, situation, and opportunity that is to come, you know what I'm saying, based on the new moon in Cancer, right? So the new moon in Cancer is going to be initiating and creating a new emotion or new vibration to carry out throughout the summer. And then based on that summer vibration, you're going to eventually have to have things fall in the fall time, you know what I'm saying? And then whenever we have the full moon in Cancer, you're going to have to utilize this circumstance situation that you utilizing at this point in time in the vibration and have to stabilize that vibration. So that's essentially what's going on with all this energy going on in the balsamic phase. We're clearing space so that way we can have a new accumulation with the new moon in Cancer. So yeah, this is going to be a quick little video, and I'm saying get right into it. So with all this being said, with Gemini in the first house, keep in mind that you're going to have the new moon occurring in the second house, right? So right now you want to clear out your personal affairs or your individuality and things of that nature. So if you're not having your individuality right, or you're not communicating the right things to actually clear the space for the new moon occurring in your value system and things like that, and your values of a person, place, thing, or idea. So essentially the emotions towards that person, place, thing, or idea is what's going to be occurring with the new moon. But you essentially want to clear out your personal life so that way you can value new things and things like that. That's what the balsamic phase is all about. The balsamic phase is 45 degrees before we have the new moon, right? So keep that in mind. And with this being said, the Taurus rising is going to have the second And the second house, like I say, is about the values of a person, place, thing, or idea. So essentially, you may need to clear the communications, or be clear communicating your values and things like that, to then in turn have an environment or an immediate environment or media spaces that you can actually accumulate new things, right? So that's what it's all about for the Taurus rising. And keep in mind, moving forward, the Aries rising is actually a sextile to the Gemini. So the Aries is seeing the opportunity in their environment of what they need to clear out, what they need to communicate, essentially at this point in time. And with all this being said, they're going to have the new moon occurring in the fourth house. So for the Aries, whenever the new moon occurs, it's going to be a square. And the Aries may have to learn to be more private or be more in their heart space whenever it comes to the Cancer new moon, right? So like I say, you want to clear out whatever's in your environment and see the opportunity to clear things out for that space to be accumulated. And then the Pisces rising is having the fourth house being in Gemini, and the fourth house is all about the privacy, things close to the heart, and I'm saying the home space. So essentially, the Pisces is learning at this point in time what to communicate about in the home to actually have a more comfortable circumstance situation. And then the new moon will occur in the fifth house for the Pisces rising. So with this being said, excuse me, the expression is what's going to be a new accumulation for the Pisces. So essentially, whenever you're in your home and things like that, and you clear out the space in your home, you can then feel comfortable expressing yourself with this new circumstance situation with the moon in Cancer. With the new moon in Cancer, I mean to say. And then Aquarius rising is having the fifth house being in Gemini. So the fifth house in Gemini for the Aquarius, keep in mind, you got Pluto on your first house, you know what I'm saying, being an Aquarius. So you're going to create that opportunity to change and have space created in your expression and things like that. So essentially, you don't want to express yourself in a space that you're too wishy-washy, so to speak, or like two-sided. And keep in mind, we also have Jupiter in Gemini. So we're also expanding based on this emotion that we're utilizing at this point in time. So you want to utilize this expansion to say, okay, what is actually beneficial in the long term throughout this Jupiter and Gemini cycle to, I'm saying, what could I clear out to actually help myself out for that, so to speak. And like I say, the new moon will then occur in the sixth house for the Aquarius. So it's all going to be about the routine and pattern. The Aquarius may misunderstand they have to accumulate new things or new vibrations, so to speak. And then moving forward, based on the 150-degree angle for the Aquarius, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? And then the Capricorn rising moving forward, it's going to have the sixth house being in Gemini. So it's right now the routine and pattern and the consistency and things like that. So essentially, if you're not able to stay consistent about what you're communicating about and things like that, and you kind of want to keep more to yourself during the balsamic moon and see like, okay, what is the things I can communicate within oneself to actually clear this space out in my own mind, so to speak. That could be something that you're dealing with at this point in time, being that Capricorn rising. Like, don't be so scattered when it comes to your routine, and see where you are being scattered and clear that energy out to then in turn have a new moon in the seventh house be more relative and be more relatable, things like that. So you're going to have a new accumulation in your relations whenever it comes to the Capricorn rising. And then Sagittarius is having the seventh house being in Gemini, right? So the seventh house, like I just say, is all about the relations. And keep in mind, the seventh house is in opposition. So it's a 180-degree angle to the Sagittarius, the Gemini. So at this point in time, you may have a meaning and reasoning behind the way that you're communicating your communication styles. And with this being said, you may not actually clear out the space or clear out the proper relation to actually have this new moon occur in the eighth house, and you might not see what you actually need to transform based on this new accumulation. So the new moon, like I say, is all about new experiences. So you're going to have a new experience in your behind-the-scenes circumstance or your transformation, being that Sagittarius, and your secret, so to speak, or, you know what I'm saying, behind closed doors circumstance. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep it PG. Then moving forward, the Scorpio rising is having the eighth house being in Gemini, right? So it's all about the transformation at this point in time, like I say, behind the scenes. So the Scorpio has to see what they're communicating behind the scenes or how they're scattered behind the scenes and have to transform that at this point in time to then in turn having the new moon in Cancer in the ninth house based on that morality or that knowledge and wisdom. And the Scorpio may now have that knowledge and wisdom of, okay, I cleared out those previous things and now I can actually accumulate new things in my experience or my morality system. And then the Libra rising is having the ninth house being in Gemini. So the ninth house for the Libra, you know what I'm saying, is Gemini. So it's a trine, 120-degree angle. So Libra is creating an opportunity in the morality, or creating an opportunity to be on both sides of the circumstance situation, and seeing, okay, if I actually want to utilize this to create more space for that new moon, what is something I need to clear out based on my experience to then in turn have a more beneficial status. So keep in mind, the Libra is a square to the Cancer. So the Libra may have to learn of how to, you know what I'm saying, be more comfortable in their status at this point in time whenever we have the new moon occur. So essentially, you want to kind of see, like, what is both sides of my morality, and do I feel comfortable with both sides of my morality? And that other side that I'm not actually feeling is so comfortable with, or saying feeling private with, or what I actually don't want to have in my private circumstance situation based on the Cancer energy, that status that I'm utilizing, is it actually going to be beneficial, you know what I'm saying, for the long term? So you want to see both sides to your experience at this point in time, being that Libra rising. And then the Virgo rising is having the 10th house being in Gemini. And keep in mind, Virgo and Gemini is a square. So the Virgo is going to have to learn what to actually clear out. The Virgo is so detailed, and they do things on a routine and pattern so much that they may be in a space that they don't actually want to learn that, okay, I need to clear out this certain aspect of my status, or clear out this certain aspect of my blueprint and what I'm known for, to then in turn have new accumulations in my status, in my association with the new moon into the 11th house. So you're going to have new accumulations in your association or your public persona whenever we have the moon in Cancer, new moon in Cancer, sorry. Then moving forward, the Leo rising is having the 11th house being in Gemini. And that 11th house is all about, like I said, the associations, the public spaces. But for the Leo, it's a sextile house. So they're seeing the opportunity, okay, what is both sides of my association? What is something that's actually beneficial and what is non-beneficial? And how could I maybe clear out things to actually then in turn expand based on the dream that I want to accumulate? So essentially, we're going to have a new accumulation in the 12th house of being Leo rising. So with the new moon in Cancer, you're going to have to create a vibration to have new experiences to accumulate that dream that you actually want to bring to the forefront. And last but not least, the Cancer rising is having the 12th house right now being in Gemini. So it's all about the dreams, illusions, and nightmares, and things that you actually don't want to accumulate in your personal life. This is something you actually want to clear out. Like if there's a certain illusion that you're in and you see that, like, oh, I'm a little bit scatterbrained when it comes to this illusion, then in turn, I'm not actually going to be able to have a personally comfortable circumstance situation whenever the new moon occurs. So essentially, the Cancer wants to clear things out that they actually don't want to see themselves doing in the future, so to speak. And that's pretty much the key for that. But yeah, like I said, keep in mind, we got the moon conjuncting Jupiter right now at this point in time. So the moon's going to be expanding our emotions and things like that. So we're going to have expansion upon our emotions and things of that nature. And those communication styles may create that expansion, right? Or those personal emotions that you're feeling, you know what I'm saying, based on who you're communicating with at this point in time. You may see like, okay, these are certain situations that I need to clear out before we actually have this new moon occur. And then keep in mind, like I say earlier in the video, we have the moon in Gemini trining Pluto whenever it first entered into it. So if you didn't already have that deep transformation and change and create that opportunity to change one's emotions, this is the time to do it, so to speak, before we had this new moon occur. And then we also have the Lilith being in Virgo. So the moon in Gemini, we may see, okay, a learning process. So like say, okay, I know I'm embarrassed about my certain details and things like that, but I do also see both sides to it at this point in time. So you may want to learn how to be more comfortable with your darkest moment or what makes you feel embarrassed and things like that. So at this point in time, I'm saying the moon in Gemini is like that super fast energy, because Gemini is ruled by Mercury, you know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, Mercury is ruled by Gemini, however you want to look at it. So at this point in time, or at home in Gemini, Mercury is. So it's a mercurial sign, which Mercury is a very fast-moving planet. So at this point in time, we may be communicating very quickly with others, or feeling comfortable communicating within oneself. Like, oh, do I see both sides of things, and this is actually the truth, and things like that. So that's something you want to keep in mind. But yeah, much love and holla back. You know what I'm saying? We're going to check back in whenever we have the new moon in Cancer. So yeah, much love and peace and